this cloud. WebDriver navigate methods I covered. WebDriver find element methods I covered. Locators I already covered. So WebElement methods I covered. Selector class I covered. Random option I have shown you how to select random option. Now I am covering WebElement return type methods. The first method is GetText method. We already used it several times. So what it will do? It will fetch the element text from a web page and stores in a string type variable. The return type of this method is GetText method. So the return type is a string type. So data type variable name equal to WebElement dot GetText method. So find element is a return type of web element. That's why driver dot find element. Driver is a web page. In this web page, you're finding the element by find element method by using this locator and locator value. And that text you're getting with a get text method. This returns a string type data. That's the first method. Get attribute of attribute name. So you give the attribute name and it will fetch the attribute value of that element. So for that attribute, what value is there? You want to know for particular element, you call get attribute on the element and you give the which attribute name value you want, automatically it will fetch that element attribute value. So this also returns a string type data. So return type of the method string variable name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value dot get attribute of attribute name. So what are all the attributes? Can you tell me some of them?
ID, name, type, value, title. Yeah, SRC.
Very good.
Type also.
And Venkatesh has given a few of them. These are the attributes: ID, name, class name, value, type, href, src, alt, tab index. These are all attribute names. Any attribute value for particular element you want to get, you can use this get attribute method. So first question, how to use this method? I'm directly giving the real-time questions. How can you get the tooltip of an element? Let me show you that. So Redify is having tooltips for all the elements. See? So this is the tooltip. What is the tooltip?
Live commentary
is showing. Yeah, the box it is showing when I mouse over on that. Live commentary of the Indian stock market, stock code, and business. That's the tooltip. Every element has a tooltip here. See? Lightning fast free email. You mouse over any element, you will get a tooltip. But where this box text you can find? So in the HTML, you can find that. Let me show you. So let's go and spy on that. See, this is the A tag. href attribute is there. See, what is that title attribute? This title attribute inside, you can find the tooltip of an element. That means you give that get attribute method you call and give the title of this element. Automatically, you will get this value, this title attribute value, you will get it. That's the get attribute method purpose. So tooltip is available in the title attribute. You should know this concept. This is the concept. If you know the concept, you can call this method and you can give here a title attribute. See, this is the code. How can you get the tooltip? I'm giving the code also. String tooltip equal to driver dot find element by dot locator of locator value dot get attribute of title. Fixed. This code is fixed. Only change here only. And that element locator you give, that's it. No need to change here anything here. Only change where? By dot locator place only change. That's a fixed line of code I have given. You don't need to anything, no need to change in this line. If anybody asks, how can you get the tooltip? Just give this line of code. String tooltip equal to driver dot find element bracket by dot locator locate value dot get attribute of title. No need to change, only change in this place. We don't write which element or tooltip you want. That's why I put a generic format here and you replace for which element you want. Okay. Next, how can you fetch the URL of the link? First, you should know where the URL will be there. So this is the concept. Link URL will be found in the href attribute. You can see here. Every A tag is going to have href attribute. Href is an attribute. See that attribute value, this is the one. Any link URL you can find in the href attribute. So what is the syntax? Can you tell me now? I have given the attribute name. I want a link URL. What is the code you can tell?
String str equal to driver dot find elements of locator within the double quotes locator value dot get attribute of attribute name.
What is the attribute name here for link?
href.
Href. That's it. Excellent, Santosh. Sorry, Venkatesh. So that's the code. String URL equal to driver dot find element by dot locator of locator value dot get attribute of href. See, only attribute name I am changing. Method name doesn't change. Next, how can you fetch the image source? Any image is going to have src attribute. You can see this is the image, right? So these are all images. So every image is going to have img tag, then src attribute. Mandatory. SRC attribute is mandatory. How can you get this SRC value? How can you get this SRC value? Again, you can frame the sentence now. String. So SRC value equal to driver dot find element by dot locator locate value dot get attribute of SRC. You identify this element. How you will identify? It's your no headache. You use XPath or CSS selector or whatever it is. Use that locators and then identify that. Then you can get the value of SRC value. So that's all about how to use get attribute method. Next, get CSS value of CSS property. Every element has a CSS properties. You can see here. So left side is styles, right side, sorry. Styles, border none, color this one, and text hyphen decoration none. And you can see font family, font size, height, all these are font weight, font size. These are all called CSS properties. Every element has a CSS properties. The values will change. Properties are fixed. Property name. Property names are font hyphen size, font hyphen weight, font hyphen family. This is the font hyphen family. So these are all CSS property names, but the value will change from element to element. That value, if you want this value of this CSS property, you can use get CSS value method. What is the method? Get CSS value method. You can call for CSS property. It fetches the CSS property value. So again, the code is similar. String CSS value equal to driver dot find element by dot locator of locator value dot get CSS value of CSS property. So what are the CSS properties? Color, font hyphen size, font hyphen family, text hyphen decoration, background color. So many are the CSS properties. Any CSS property you give for that element, it will fetch by this method. CSS property value it will fetch. Code snippets for this. How can you get the particular element color? So string C equal to driver dot find element by dot locator locate value dot get CSS value of color. How can you find out the particular element is underlined or not? String UD equal to driver dot find element by dot locator locate value dot gets CSS value of text hyphen decoration. So only two values you have this text hyphen decoration. So one is none, another one is underline. Only two. So if it is underline, you will get underline here. This here it will store. If it is a none, this value you will get a none. That's so how you can get the values. Next, get location. Element height and width. Sorry, element position. X coordinate and Y coordinate you will be there, right? Y coordinate position and X coordinate position you can get with the get location method. So this returns a point object. This is the Selenium 3 core, the method, but Selenium 4 the method is changed. I'll show you that. So point P equal to driver dot find element by dot locator locate value dot get location method. So P dot get X will give the X coordinate and P dot get Y will give the Y coordinate. So there is a get size method, so which is the height and width of the element. So this returns a dimension object D equal to driver dot find element by dot locator locate value dot get size method. Get size returns a type is dimension object. Get location return type is a point object. So Selenium 4 it is changed completely. So driver dot so web element you identify first web element driver dot find element by dot locator value. Then this logo 1 dot get rect dot get dimension. Now you can get the get height. So logo dot get rect dot get dimension dot get width method. All the getter methods you see that. So you want to get the X coordinate. Logo dot get rect dot get X method. You want Y location. Logo dot get rect dot get Y method. Directly you will get. So this will give the height and width, and this will give the X and Y coordinates here. So directly calling the get rect method and then chain the methods. This is all chaining the methods. Element dot get rect, then chain the method with the get dimension, then chain the method with the get height method. This all method chaining we call this. Okay. So the last method is get tag name. You want the tag name of an element. So you can get with a get tag name method, string tag equal to driver dot find element by dot locator locate value dot get a tag name method. It will get that this element what tag is there, that tag name will store here. These are all the return type methods. Okay. So that's all theory. Tomorrow I'll show you the code